Knight vs. Giant: The Broken Excalibur is a brand new roguelite very heavily modeled after Hades, but with a medieval and magical twist. You play as King Arthur trying to restore Camelot to its former glory. I won't go into story spoilers here, and are able to take some of the Knights of the Round's powers with you on each run that you do. These runs consist of battling through 3 different biomes, facing 3 mini-bosses, 3 regular giant bosses, and then the final boss of each run. All along, you're able to collect currency, power-ups, and save some of the citizens of Camelot. After beating the game 100%, I learned a lot of helpful things along the way that I wanted to share with you quickly. So let's get into it. When you first start, you only have access to 2 different Knights' abilities. You can start unlocking new weapons or statues after defeating the Void Giant twice. This is the final boss. Then, each run after that, you defeat the Void Giant again, you'll almost always unlock another Knight's powers. This was confusing to me at first because I was wondering why I wasn't unlocking any new powers, but I hadn't actually beaten the Void Giant before, which is why I wasn't unlocking these, so just keep at it. Each new run that you do, you can only save 1 villager. They will be hidden in one of the 3 biomes, and as long as you explore all available paths, you can't miss them. Villagers are not dependent on defeating the Void Giant, so even if you're having trouble beating the last boss, keep pushing through and finding more villagers as they can give some pretty significant buffs. There are 3 currencies in the game you'll be collecting and need to decide what to spend them on. Gold is used for upgrading weapons, buying gems from the gem dealer, for powerful upgrades, and rebuilding Camelot. Soul stones are used for purchasing temporary upgrades on each run from the merchant. The highest upgrade costs about 350, so plan accordingly. You don't keep this currency, so make sure you spend it on each run. Finally, giant stones are used to rebuild Camelot or purchase permanent skill upgrades from the trainer. You can only get a maximum of 3 of these each run, 1 from each giant, so think carefully about how to spend them as they are the most grindy to get. While running through each of the different biomes, you can find the merchant every time. He offers potions for healing and random upgrades. They range from 40 to 350 souls for these upgrades. He will refresh his stock each new biome, so if you see an upgrade that's too expensive in your first area, you'll still have a chance to buy it before facing the giant, as each biome is split into 2 different phases, so you get 2 different chances to meet the merchant. You'll find Morgana, and later on in the game, the tarot reader. More often than not, taking their buffs and debuffs are not worth using. While the buffs can be really nice, the negative effects usually far outweigh the positive. Once I got plus 20 damage points, but minus 20% damage, or plus 50% more giant health. Not cool. Make sure that you're checking the map and explore each area fully before moving on to the next biome. The upgrades are well worth it and make the bosses in each zone easier. You can fast travel back to any cleared zone on the map, so if you see a branching path that you didn't take, go and take it. You might get another upgrade before moving on. I always tried to save the fountain for after the mini-boss or giants if possible. Healing is very limited, so having this will allow you to start the next area at full health. If you used it, remember you can still revisit the merchant and buy potions too, as long as he still has them in stock. I found it a lot easier to choose the attack and skill from the same knight to make upgrading on runs easier. If you choose 2 different knight's abilities, then you have a chance at getting either knight's statue, and you might want to upgrade your attack or ability one more than the other. If they are both from the same knight, you have a better chance of getting the upgrades that you want. Later on in the game, once you unlock the gem merchant, make sure that you save 2,000 gold to buy a gem from him. You can equip 2 of these at a time, so you'll want to save another 2,000 gold for another one, but these are some of the strongest buffs that you can get, and they're permanent upgrades that you can swap in and out. Also, once you unlock his daughter, she allows you to upgrade them by leveling them up as you use them. And this was not explained in the game, so definitely something good to keep your eye out for. Early on, you'll unlock the Blacksmith. Upgrading weapons at the Blacksmith is almost pointless. They give such small buffs that it's not worth it unless you really have an excess of gold. Some of the NPCs like the Jester seem to have no real use in the game even after you fix up their homes, so you may want to hold off on upgrading them till later on. Sadly, there doesn't seem to be any bonuses for rebuilding all houses, so focus on rebuilding the most useful NPCs' houses first. Lastly, as of this recording, there are 5 trophies or achievements that are bugged. You're supposed to get a trophy each time you unlock a new knight statue, but they do not work, meaning the platinum currently is unattainable. I've alerted the developers, and hopefully this can be fixed in a future patch. Alright, those are my biggest tips for playing Knight vs Giant. Hopefully they help you in your runs against the Void Giant. Let me know which tip helped you the most, or if there's anything else I missed in the comments down below. And as always, happy gaming.